So I just posted a video on how insomnia is not sleep anxiety. They are different. And in the video, I get into how exactly they are different. This is in the Insomnia Videos playlist down below, or just go to my channel and see the video I made right before this one if you want to watch that video, because I don't want to reiterate everything in that video in this video. That would be redundant. But someone commented and said, so many people with sleep anxiety actually just have early onset insomnia. And I said, yes, actually, I believe they do. I believe this will get worse. And he asked me what to do about it, to which I linked the course that is linked down below. Check out down below in the description, How to Beat Insomnia. It's a full course on how to beat insomnia. But the other thing he said, too, that bears addressing, and I wrote it down so I can address it because I can't read it off my phone because that's what I'm using to record this video, is he said many people, he seemed to be someone with insomnia who is sort of trying to reconcile himself to the gaslighting that goes on of people with insomnia, because his first thing was just a clarifying question of, so people with sleep anxiety often just have early onset insomnia. He said, well, many people, probably especially in the sleep anxiety space, say it's impossible to only sleep for 2 hours a night on end. It's impossible. So this is what he said, is that it's impossible to not sleep for 2 hours a night, and that many people with insomnia underestimate the amount of sleep they're getting. Yeah, the gaslighting is really crazy. That's what a lot of these sleep anxiety experts do, is they just gaslight you. They're like, no, you're actually sleeping more. It's impossible to only sleep for 2 hours a night. Well, guess what? Fatal insomnia has now been well documented, so you can go and find people who have died from insomnia. It is very real. It is very possible to not sleep for weeks and months at a time, let alone only get 2 hours of sleep. But in our current system, in our current medical establishment, that is unpopular, because how could there possibly be a disease that exists that we can't treat? That's not real. Except that it is. It's well documented, fatal insomnia. You can also look at Morvan's syndrome, which is an autoimmune variant of insomnia. I believe that Morvan's syndrome and fatal insomnia probably have more similarities disease-wise than they do differences, especially at the level of the mitochondria. But yeah, just look up Morvan's syndrome, look up anti-NMDA receptor encephalopathy. Look up fatal insomnia. Very, very possible to have physiological conditions that slowly degenerate over time and end up giving you insomnia that leads to total insomnia and death. Do not listen to the people gaslighting you if you have insomnia, who are like, no, you're underestimating the amount that you're sleeping. You're really sleeping more. I know more about your sleep than you do, as someone who just goes to bed every night and doesn't have to lie awake experiencing literal hell. I know much more about your sleep than you do. It just, it really makes me sick to see the gaslighting going on, because it's a lot of like why people probably don't seek help. Not that the help would do anything. I mean, most of the time, in my experience, they just recommend that you go on medications that don't work anyway. I recommend going on an elimination diet, checking out the course in the description below. And that's what's worked for me, and I have not slept for over a month. I've had more weeks of zero sleep than I can possibly count. Zero sleep. That's not me underestimating the amount of sleep I was getting. That's me, like, having psychosis, shaking uncontrollably, puking, shitting my brains out, suffering in horrible ways. Go back, watch my old videos. I documented this shit. And, like, literally, I documented this shit when I was going through it. And people were like, oh, you were getting more sleep than you think. Like, no, I wasn't, jackass. You're just uncomfortable with people having a condition that pushes the boundaries of what you think is possible. Because then, I don't know what I'd make of that. I mean, what would the world be if people were actually really suffering from insomnia? I mean, that would mean that our society's probably doing stuff wrong. Oh, no, everything in our society is just dandy. We're just one pill away from curing cancer and AIDS and everything else. It's not like there's deep problems with the food system, with the way we live our lives, with the chemicals that are allowed to be in our food, with the education system that educates people to not question what's in their food. No, that couldn't possibly be the case. It's just that Insomniacs are underestimating the amount they've slept. You know that guy who said he didn't sleep for a month? He was actually sleeping 8 hours a day, you know. He just decided to make his entire career about fixing insomnia for shits and giggles, you know. I mean, what's more fun than talking about how not sleeping nearly killed you? It drives me nuts, the absolute gaslighting. Leave a comment below if you want an answer.